Okay, so we're going to be solving for a variable in terms of another variable. There's a couple ways to do this. Since what we're looking for is inside the parentheses, we can get rid of everything that's outside the parentheses first, or we can simplify like we are used to with the, the distributing and all that. So we're going to start with getting rid of the stuff that's outside the parentheses first. So I have a 2/3 out here. I know if I multiply by the reciprocal, I can get rid of a fraction. It'll become a 1. So 3/2. And whatever I do to one side of the equation, I have to do the other side. Okay, so because it's a reciprocal, this 2 will cancel with this. This 3 will cancel with this 3. And so now I have 3/2 d equals, and the parentheses are gone because there's nothing attached to it anymore, f minus g. Okay, so I'm trying to get g by itself. Ideally, we're going to just move everything away from it. So I'm going to get rid of the f, and f is currently positive, so if I subtract it, now keep in mind, these aren't like terms. This will cancel with this, so I have 3/2 d minus f equals negative g. Don't lose your negative. Okay, now since I have a negative, I know I can get rid of it by dividing everything by a -1, which is going to just change everything's sign. So I'm going to divide by a -1, and I'm going to divide by a -1. So what I'm really going to have is negative 3/2 d plus f equals plain old g. Okay? So that's one way of writing it. The other way of doing this problem is if I have, I'll write the problem again. F minus g. Okay, I could think of this as, okay, can I simplify it? It's whatever makes more sense to you when you're doing the problem. So I could think of distributing, in which case I'd have d equals 2/3 f minus 2/3 g. Okay, getting rid of all the stuff that's on the same side as the g, I would be subtracting 2/3 f minus 2/3 f, and I will have d minus, sorry about that, 2/3 f equals negative 2/3 g. Now, I don't have g by itself, so that means that I have to divide everything by the negative 2/3, and I do it, everything gets it. I don't do single ones because I tend to forget that everything is getting divided by. That's a 3. Okay, so if I have something divided by a fraction, so this is the same thing as it's dealing with complex fractions, which we kind of have done or haven't done. So this is the same thing as d/1 divided by negative 2/3. And this is the same thing as negative 2/3 f divided by negative 2/3. These cancel out, and that's going to equal g. Okay, I'm realizing I'm writing very, very crooked. Okay, so remember, state, change, flip. So this is d/1 times negative 3/2 minus 2/3f times 3/2, and it's a negative, equals g. Okay. All right, so this, I'm stuck with it. So it's negative, I'm going to put the number first. Okay. This 2 cancels with this 2, the 3 cancels with the 3, negative cancels with the negative. So I have a plus f equals g. So I end up with the same answer either way. One takes a lot more steps, and it might be a little bit more confusing. So if the first way makes more sense, or if this started to confuse you, just stop with the first part of the video and just do it the first way. Your choice, though.